It's time for the 401k Gone Games. Tonight, 2 of the 3 contestants stand to lose all the money they've saved during their years working at RF McDonald. The winner will take all 3 combined retirement incomes, while the other 2 will have the opportunity to go back to work at RF McDonald. First, let's take a look at what each contestant stands to lose. Bob Siegel could lose 33 years of 401k savings along with RF McDonald incentives. Chris Sentner has 28 years of savings that could evaporate during these games. And finally, Andy Wade with 16 years of 401k savings and other incentives. We are talking about millions of dollars. Earlier, we spoke to some of their co-workers about the risks they're taking by entering into this contest.
When I heard about that 401k gambling game, I thought, this is crazy.
Smart move, yeah. It's always good to be a gambler. Might come out ahead.
But you know, with the way the inflation's going right now and the cost of living, who can blame the guy? You know, who can blame any of them?
I hope he loses it all.
Well, I think it's pretty brave of all 3 of them. I would give overall the slight edge to Chris.
He doesn't gamble for nothing, so I'm surprised to hear that that's what we're doing. So
that's not too smart.
Why don't you think it's smart?
Because he's retiring and he needs to live on that.
Nothing I would support. I mean, I would slap some sense into somebody for that.
It's chicken time here at the 4K. That's right, all 3 have agreed to a chicken chase and capture competition. Before the competition, we had a chance to visit and speak with some of their colleagues about how they feel they would do in this particular competition.
Well, Andy's he's scrappy. He's that quiet, scrappy guy that you just never underestimate him. He'd probably been to a zoo a few times, maybe.
Definitely think that Bob is going to be the best at chasing the chickens.
Chasing chickens. Chasing chickens, talking to goats. I mean, how else would you want to go?
Let's go down to the chicken field. Reporter Butch Paddock is with one of the contestants.
So you put a lot at risk here. Obviously, there's a good high side to it. What happens if you don't win here?
We don't want to talk about that.
Before the competition, we had a chance to visit his office in Modesto, California.
Oh, yeah, I caught him back behind the fence over here, behind our gate, and chasing some roosters one morning about 5 o'clock in the morning, yeah. He's chasing around trying to catch them. I'm going to show you the roosters out back over here. Let me take you over to the fence where I seen Andy chasing the roosters. Yeah, I don't know if he had any luck. I had to get to the job site.
You know what? Now that you are asking, last time we couldn't find him, and the warehouse guy said he had climbed the wall and was on the other side.
Yeah, I caught him back behind the fence over here, behind our gate. Yeah, so if you look back over here behind the fence, you can see a bunch of roosters running around. It's probably going to give him an unfair advantage.
Here we go, the chickens are off. Andy taking a quick turn to try to corner one of the chickens. Chris looks like he's passing Robert Siegel for an almost catch. And Andy Wade going again. We know he has training in this.
oh, look at that!
It looks like Andy Wade has grabbed the chicken in this first round. Let's take a look at that in our instant replay. Andy approaches the chicken from behind. Perhaps he's blindsided him. You can see his back and legs are being used to lift the chicken. And the grab! Nice move! Earlier before the competition, we had a chance to talk to their 3 wives.
I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, that's kind of scary. I mean, you could lose everything.
I thought that was stupid. I think that's my money, and I don't think he should be gambling my money away.
If he loses, yeah, I know we would lose absolutely everything, but I'm sure we could move in with one of our kids.
As you see, the chickens and the contestants are making their way to the starting line. It's chicken time. Let's get chasing. Chickens are off. Andy taking a quick turn to try to corner one of the chickens. Chris looks like he's passing Robert Siegel for an almost catch. And Andy Wade going again. We know he has training in this. Chris is trying to take a back approach, and wow! Robert Siegel with the catch. Let's go down to the competition field once again.
You came back. You came back in round 2, and you had a real good technique there. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Well, I heard the coaching from this gentleman here who owns the place, and he said, don't run after him. So the first time, I was third because I ran after him. Didn't listen. This time, stalked it a little bit, made my lunge, got the tail only, held on tight, put my other arm around it, and voila, he's in my hands. I'm a gambling kind of guy, and you know what? These guys, I know they saved a hell of a lot more than retirement than I did. So I don't have as much to lose as they do, right?
With the sound of the whistle, the referee has indicated the third round has begun. The chickens seem to have learned from the previous rounds and are running away much quicker than in earlier games. There goes Chris back on the chicken offensive, and wow!
Not seeing much technique there.
Quick corner and catch! Chris has won this third round. Looking to the scoreboard, we're even up at 1 apiece. Now back to Butch down on the chicken playing field.
So Chris, you put a lot on the line here, but you know, there's a reality you could lose here. So how do you plan to reduce your lifestyle? How are you going to adjust?
I think we'll have to cut back on some things, you know. Golf, I think, you know, golf's expensive, so maybe we go down to mini golf, you know. So, but I'm not too worried. You saw how they're huffing and puffing, right?
Yeah,
I think I got the upper hand.
You got youth on your side. That's
yeah,
good.
I got youth on my side. Yeah.
All right, good deal.
With the conclusion of the chicken race, we find all 3 contestants tied up with 1 apiece. Our next game involves cash, in fact $30,000 worth of hard cash, which the 3 contestants will attempt to burn. Each will be given $10,000 in cash and a pack of matches. The first to burn all $10,000 will be declared the winner. Prior to this competition, we spoke with co-workers.
I think he would burn through a stack of cash in a heartbeat, no problem. Terrible with money.
If the whole goal is to burn the money, I would make sure that money was actually burned, because maybe he slipped it out, put in some fake dollars, and said, oh, I burned all the money.
Oh, I think he would burn himself.
Let's go down to the parking lot of the RF McDonald's headquarters in Hayward and referee Jim McDonald. We see that Andy Wade has taken the lead here. Chris close behind, and it looks like Bob is attempting to light using a different technique, lighting the bills from underneath. It's obvious that Andy Wade here is quickly burning through his $10,000 in cash. Chris Sentner close behind, and Rob Siegel, unfortunately, it does not look good for him. Through the smoke and flames, it seems obvious Andy is marching to the top of the leaderboard with his cash-burning techniques. And there it is. Andy, he has burned all of his money and is the winner of this competition. Let's go down to the competition field and back to Butch.
Yeah, Andy, you're on the leaderboard.
Yes.
2 in a row here.
Yep.
1 more to go.
Yep.
You feeling pretty good about yourself?
Oh, yes. I want it all. I want it all.
You can lose it all, though, still. I mean, you're in the leaderboard, but you can still lose it.
I know. I'm a gambler. I'm going to do it.
All right, then.
Let's take a look at the board now. Andy Wade is ahead by 2 points. His competitors with 1 point each. But with the final competition being worth multiple points, and in the case of a tie, each one will keep their retirement because of the difficulty of this upcoming final competition. It's time for the welding competition. All 3 contestants will be given a weld to perform individually. Andy Wade is now grabbing his protective gear. Earlier, we spoke with some of his colleagues and wife about his welding abilities.
I think his competitors would have an edge on him in the welding part of it. He only did welding, I think, in technical college long time ago.
Have you ever seen him watching you weld to learn? I mean, how do you think he's going to do in the welding?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. Yeah.
Have you seen him do any welding? Have you seen him watching anybody in the shop? I mean, has he been trying to learn?
I have not. I haven't seen that at all. So
This should be fun.
good luck to watch him.
Yes, definitely good luck.
Chris Sentner now approaches to grab his protective gear. Earlier, we spoke to his wife and co-workers.
He used to be a pretty good welder, but that was a long time ago.
I don't think Chris has any chance of winning this welding competition. Back when Chris was in the field trying to weld, he was using equipment like this, where Chris, you know how you used to have to crank your car to start it? He used to have to turn this dial in order to try to figure out how to work his machine. And sometimes it just comes a point when time passes you up and technology gets too advanced and it's time to retire.
You know, the stakes are high, you know? Who knows, you know?
Lagging behind with very little previous welding experience is Robert Siegel. He is putting on his protective gear.
Has your husband discussed welding with you at all, watching welders in the shop?
No, can't even picture him welding.
I think that's tough considering who he's going up against. He's going up against a couple of other guys that are pretty good.
Bob's got nerves of steel. He's rock solid. Him and welding should go hand in hand. He shouldn't have any problem with it.
Well, we're almost ready to begin the competition, and I'm joined tonight with boiler expert Sandy Gannon. He's the author of Proper Boiler Placement and Engineering and is a frequent speaker at many industrial boiler events and conferences. Thanks for joining me, Sandy.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here with you tonight.
Let's go back down to the referee, Jim McDonald, who will explain the welds that each is expected to perform.
So we have Andy here set up to do a MIG weld. We have Chris set up to do a TIG weld, and Bob set up to do a stick weld. Gentlemen, get ready to weld. We're going to do this one at a time.
Andy starts welding. What do you think about that, Sandy?
He's doing good. Continuous welding. You can do that with the MIG. You can go until the reel is gone.
Andy Wade, nice looking welding there. Wow!
This guy's no bugger. He's a meat hand. He's not a drinking hand. Look at that weld. Super impressed. Super impressed by his welding techniques.
How would you rank the technique so far?
Using a 75-25 mix that's 75% argon, 25% carbon dioxide. He's looking good. It looks like he's got a golden arm. This ain't no bugger.
I'm done.
Weld looks good, no cracks or holes.
Chris Sentner now begins his weld. He is the favorite.
Hey, just a note, stainless steel is typically used for sanitary pipes in the food processing industry.
Sandy, how's it looking so far?
No surprises here, TIG welding. We know Chris has done this before.
Could this get any better? It looks like he's controlling it. What do you think, Sandy?
Chris is using argon gas, difficult to handle. He seems like he's doing a good job. It takes a skilled veteran welder not to stick to the tungsten.
It's looking good.
Argon gas is difficult to handle, and Chris is doing a great job.
Done welding dimes and I got your money.
It's looking good. Uniform in width, ripples are even, well feathered into the base metal.
Next, Robert Siegel. Not much confidence. Bob begins his weld.
Of course, he's welding 2 flanges with arc welding process.
What's your take on it, Sandy?
You know, I noticed earlier he was tacking the flanges together before he began welding. It's a gas metal arc weld.
Oh, it looks like Robert is giving up. Oh no, he's just taking a break. He's no quitter, Sandy. What techniques do you see him using?
He's looking good. Looks like a root pass with 60-10. Excellent work here. You know, most of the time, this type of welding is used for steam processing piping.
I'm done, and I know I won.
I don't think we need to do a bend test on this or a radiographic test. It just looks good.
It's all over. The welds have been completed. Millions of dollars of retirement on the line. A change in lifestyle for sure for the 2 losers. Our judges will now take a look at the welds, and as soon as they make their decision, we'll let you know.
Well, that was impressive, and the judges are working on it. We're getting close to the moment. So you got any final thoughts, any final words?
I'm totally convinced I'm going to win this all.
But look at his welds. He ain't going to win with that weld. My welds are, I'm going to win.
You know, I fell short on the money burn. I get it. I got penalized. I get it. So I'm coming from behind, but I nailed it here. And I'm putting these guys in the dust. This is it.
All right. Well, there's a lot on the line. Good luck to all of you.
Now let's go back down to the referee, Jim McDonald.
I'm coming from the judges' chambers, and I'm happy to announce the results of the competition that we've had here over the last several events. I'm happy to announce we have a 3-way tie. How about that?
It's a tie! This is an absolutely, totally unscripted turn of events where all 3 contestants will keep. That's right, they will keep their retirement savings and be able to retire. You can see the joy in their faces. Well, it sure has been an exciting 401k Gone Games here, and we look forward to our next version with the next generation of retirees from RF McDonald who are willing to put it all on the line. Thanks for joining us, and now a final word from our referee and CEO of RF McDonald, Jim McDonald.
Hopefully you've enjoyed the the fun we've had with Bob and Andy and Chris as we celebrate their retirement. And we can't say enough about all the contributions they've made over the time they've been here. That's part of the culture of our company, the celebration of careers here in the company. And we wish them the best as they go forward in their next part of the chapters in their life, and we look forward to future celebrations as additional people that have been here for so long can join in retirement at the time when we can have those celebrations. So, thank you.